Who remembers that late night infomercial with a really fit guy that said, what we do is we turn intervals upside down and we create muscle confusion? Do you remember that? Do you remember? I'm pretty sure that was Insanity or something like that. Yeah, it was Insanity. That's because that idea is insanity. Exercise science hasn't been around for that long. It's probably around World War II-ish. That's when we really start to look at the capability of people and how we make them progress. What is a way that we can make things easier for people? What are the shortcuts? What works well? And all this kind of stuff, right? So in the end, what we've actually found, there's a lot of principles where it comes to exercise: frequency, intensity, time, and type. That's how you measure your changes in exercise. So frequency, how often; intensity, how hard. So if I rated it out of 10, your rate of perceived exertion, that's your intensity. That's also sometimes weight and that kind of stuff. Time, how long you do your exercise for, and the type of exercise. So is it cardio? Is it stretching? Is it resistance training? That's how we measure it. Then there's also the components of how to see change. So specificity, it's a hard one to say, basically means your body adapts specifically to the thing that you're training. So if you train your right arm and nothing else will change. Just your right arm is going to get stronger. Same thing if you're doing cardio, your muscles are not necessarily going to get stronger. In the off chance you're using muscles that you weren't using to do that cardio, you will build a little bit of muscle for that, but not much. That's sort of an asterisk, but the point is that your body specifically adapts to the exercise you put it under. Then there's progressive overload. That means that you continually need to make it a little bit harder. Overload what you're able to do or what you're currently doing, so your body has to adapt to this new higher level, and then you overload it and your body adapts to that level and you overload it, and so on and so forth. So two of the main things that you need to be doing when you're progressing things. There are other ways that principles, we call them, of physical activity. We won't get into that today, but I think I want to focus on those two because the idea of muscle confusion confuses that. The point is this: muscle confusion probably is better explained with boredom. If you feel like you're doing the same thing every day, your brain is going to get bored and plateau before your body does. Because realistically, if every day you did one more rep from January 1st to December 31st, you're going to progress. You're going to be bored, but you're going to progress. The point of muscle confusion is to make it feel like you needed to be doing something different all the time in order to see progress, to break through these plateaus. But technically, you don't have to. Now, I'm not going to bore you guys. I'm not going to tell you to do the same thing all the time, but we do need to give your body the time to acquire the skill of the exercise, because the first thing that happens, your body adapts mentally, neurally to the exercise. It learns the exercise and then it can get better. So if today you're learning an exercise and I give you a new one tomorrow and you're trying to learn that one, and then a new one after that and you're trying to learn, you're spending all this time, actually your brain is trying to learn, like it's trying to learn how to ride a bicycle, and you can never actually get better at riding a bicycle. So the point is that we need to be doing it for long enough that we're able to progress within the exercise, but also be able to learn new stuff, more advanced exercises, and that. So coming back to that, the point is that we need to be doing the same exercises for an established amount of time, weeks, anywhere between 2 to 6 weeks usually. I'm going to sit with that 4-week period, and we're going to progress. We're going to progressively overload. We're going to do more reps and we're going to do more sets, or we're going to add more weight, because if you add more weight, you're probably going to do less reps. And you're going to see from week 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see down in that little spreadsheet, you're going to see that I'm asking you to do more reps, or I'm asking you to do less. If I'm asking you to do less, that means your weight had to have gone up. Or if it stayed the same, 10 reps and 10 reps, that means you had to go up in in weight for you to be able to do that the next week. You're progressively overloading all the time. The other ways, we can add sets, we can do a number of different things, right? But the point is that we have to progress week over week. So no muscle confusion. And I'll give you a new set of exercises every 4 weeks to make it a little bit more exciting. But the idea is that if you're continually progressively overloading, you're not going to plateau. If you're doing your nutrition, if you're doing the stuff that we've talked about, you're not going to plateau. I promise you. If at some point you feel like you're plateauing, reach out to me. But I'll tell you one thing, if we're not hitting this sort of checklist, the main things, the big rocks that I've always talked about, if we're not checking those off, we got to start there. I can't tell you that you have to go change the air freshener in your car if you need to actually change your tires, you need a new air filter, your car battery's out. Those are the important things that make your car work. The air freshener is not going to make a difference. So focus on the big rocks, get that checklist done. Once that checklist is done, then we add more complexity. Because my goal would be is that we have the minimum amount of things that you have to do to get the most amount of results. That way you're not having to do a 25 checklist, pre-flight checklist like a pilot has to do before he has to take off, right? So let's try to keep it simple, build complexity if we need to, but for the most part, big rocks, check off your list, and don't worry about confusing muscles or whatever that guy said.